Strange things are happening in the world of Nintendo as they drop 3 announcements that we thought would surely be part of an almost imminent direct. Gabe, tonight Nintendo took to Twitter and had a little mini Twitter direct of their own, announcing release dates for Yoshi's Crafted World on Nintendo Switch, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn on Nintendo 3DS, and revealing the NES lineup for January and the Nintendo Switch Online service. This came out of nowhere, and I think caught everybody off guard because, 1, where is the announcement of the January Direct? And 2, shouldn't this stuff have been part of that presentation?
Zach, what is happening? That's what I want to know. Something is clearly up. At first, I'm sorry, I can't give credit to whoever said this because I don't remember. But somebody on Twitter said, "Hey, when you accidentally make a tweet that you're supposed to schedule for a different day," I thought that's what was happening at first. When I first started seeing this, I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And then turns out that I don't think it's possible to make 3 mistakes back to back, back like that. So
no.
It was clearly designed in this way, and it is leading people to wonder: will there even be a January Direct?
Yeah, make sure to give us your take about these announcements and what you think it means for the future of January and I guess of whenever the next Direct will be in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. It does help us out a lot. Let's get into some of these announcements, and then to me there's 4 paths that this could go from here. But first off, the big one for us is Yoshi's Crafted World getting a story trailer featuring the one, the only Baby Bowser, who's back for another adventure, this time stealing gemstones from the top of mountains. And the game comes out March 29th. I think that's a little later than we initially thought it would be coming out.
By mere weeks, right? I mean, we thought it was going to be March all along, so the date of March doesn't necessarily matter to me a whole lot, but you have an interesting theory about that.
Yeah, so, 1, it's a very charming story trailer that ends so abruptly. I'm getting so invested. I'm like, here comes 3 to 4-year-old Bowser riding on the back of Kamek, stealing the gemstones. The Yoshis are losing their mind. They're getting scattered across this very eloquently but linearly laid out land, and then boom, title card. I was so invested, and nothing. But my thing with this date specifically is I feel that it opens the door for another first-party title. It is odd to me that Nintendo would space New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and Yoshi's Crafted World by over 2.5 months. If you count from January 11th to March 29th, that is a substantial amount of days. And I don't know, given what they intend to accomplish in 2019 and what they have set out to do, that they want to have that big of a gap. So I'm beginning to think that there is another game from Nintendo coming out in this space. And I will say another game from Nintendo, first party or second party, because Daemon X Machina might fit that bill.
Okay. I don't necessarily agree with you. You know, off air, you said that, hey, maybe it's like a Wii U port of some kind, but the Wii U ports that jump out, right, as plausible: Wonderful 101, Super Mario Maker, something like that. Those don't just get announced and released in a month, do they? I mean, maybe, but I can't imagine that's the case.
It would be strange. It would be strange. And again, putting these pieces together for a what happens next theory is part of this video. But first, let's just briefly mention Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. It's a 3DS game, so we don't typically pay as much attention, but it is releasing March 8th. I kind of wish that the Kirby and Yoshi dates were flip-flopped. And then, even more interesting is Nintendo Switch Online gets 2 games this month. So if you thought 3 was a slow pace, we've got 2 for you this month. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and Blaster Master are coming on January the 16th. How you going to botch 3 games a month? How are you only going to give us 2 in 2019?
I have no idea, but I want to give one more little Yoshi tidbit before we move on to, the overarching theme of this video. And that is that it's 5.3 gigs of space it's going to be required for Yoshi. So I wanted to throw that out there. The preload is available in Japan, so that's where we have this information from.
Good call. Okay, so given these announcements, given this information, here's what I think is going on. I think there are 4 possible outcomes. One is that this is the worst case scenario. There's no January Direct, and so they wanted to get these announcements out because there is no other place to put them. Sad. The other is that there is a January Direct, and it is so jam-packed with good stuff, so focused on even bigger titles and new surprises that they couldn't afford to even include Yoshi, Kirby, or the NES games. Now, the third theory is that the Direct is actually later in the month, and therefore they did not want a gap to exist where you could not pre-order New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe because it was out, and you had nothing on the horizon to pre-order. So they pumped out these announcements just before the launch of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. So now Switch owners have something else to pre-order. 3DS owners, after Bowser's Inside Story comes out on Friday, have something else to pre-order. And this is merely just a stopgap until the Direct, which isn't going to be on the 10th, but instead is going to be later in the month. The fourth theory that I have is that none of this is related to anything, and Nintendo is just living their best life in 2019.
Okay. All right. What do you think is the likelihood of there just being no Direct in January? And make no mistake, if there is no Direct in January, probably just means we're getting in February. It happened in 2016, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. How are you feeling about that right now?
I still feel strongly that there is a Direct. If I had to put my Yoshi eggs in a basket, I would go with theory number 3, which is that they do not want a gap where there's nothing on the horizon. So by at least confirming the release dates for Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn and Yoshi's Crafted World, you say, hey, there's a future. And now we have time to launch Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and we have time to put the Direct out there, and maybe they even air the exact same trailer once again in the Direct, but they just needed to have something to at least appease fans and investors and make sure that the company is running on the appropriate schedule.
I guess that makes sense. I just don't know how important it is to have something pre-orderable at all times. I mean, maybe it is to a company, just like to me, it doesn't matter.
I think just as an entity, this is your platform. We know Mortal Kombat 11's coming. We know Doom Eternal's coming. There's a few other games scattered out there. You got the shining star of Travis Strikes Again at the end of the month, but I just feel like they needed to have some roadmap, because it's starting to get weird when you don't have the NES games announced, you don't have a Direct announced, you don't have dates for any of this future stuff announced, and your only dated product is coming out in just a couple of days. So I still think there's a Direct. I do not think this is a replacement. It sure felt like a Twitter Direct. I was, it was 5:30, 6. I was waiting for the 6:30 PST next tweet. I thought we were just going to keep getting them. It was just going to keep going and going and going. But it was just a little triple jam, a little 3-pack if you're an OG SwitchForce fan. I don't think that this means no Direct. I also don't think that this means the Direct is massive. I also don't think this means that Nintendo is just taking a we don't give a heck attitude in 2019, just going bonkers. I think this is a calculated part of the plan, and that is why I go with that theory number 3 as the most likely reason for what this all means.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit worried about there not being a Direct this month, but again, like I said earlier, if it doesn't happen this month, I fully believe it's happening next month. We're getting something. They're not going to just leave us hanging with no information going forward. 2019, by all accounts, is supposed to be a humongous year for Nintendo Switch. They have a lot on the horizon, both that we know about and stuff that we probably don't know about. So I'm not worried in the long term. I just, like you said, it's not happening as soon as we thought, because there was that rumor that it was going to happen as early as the 10th, and that's clearly not going to be taking place now.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I think this is a holdover because it's not it's not happening on the 10th. In terms of the date for Yoshi and its implications for the Switch, a couple other things here. One, bravo to Yoshi for getting a date. That game has been delayed and kind of in a nebulous state for a while, and now, hey, we have an official concrete launch. It does, like I mentioned, for the preceding months make me wonder of what Nintendo launches, but for the subsequent months, that also has impact, because now a game like Fire Emblem Three Houses that initially maybe we thought would kind of take an early year slot, March 29th is as close to April as you're going to get, so now that leads me to believe that Fire Emblem, if that is to be their next game, or really whatever their next first-party title is, probably not till the end of April or even into early May. So if we're looking ahead at the calendar, people that were hoping for a stacked early lineup, I still think we get something between Mario and Yoshi. But a lot of those other titles, I think you're starting to already see that they're going to take the second half of the year months, and who knows, where a game like Fire Emblem Three Houses ends up releasing.
I mean, May or June would make sense at this point, just because, yeah, it's basically April for Yoshi. It's a little later than I would have liked, but yeah, I mean, that's where we're at now.
Yeah, so we can start to pencil in a little bit better of where these things fall. And, if you look and say, okay, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, you start to just feel this out and place where it's going to place. Pokemon, you kind of can establish that second half of the year. I mean, there's obviously the potential for months to have more than one game. That's not taboo in any way. It just hasn't been how things have gone lately. But it is interesting then to see, okay, where is there room for announcements? And to me, the room is in the first half of the year. And so that's why I think this January Direct, 1, is coming, and 2, is worth getting excited about, because I really don't think they go 2.5 months with nothing, and I really hope that we're spot on here and that these announcements are just to sort of cover and satiate and not to replace. Because no January Direct, no details on the new games, no Smash Bros. Update. I'm feeling a little bit funny about things. I am surprised, Gabe, that Piranha Plant date wasn't part of this. I thought that once I saw the Yoshi date and the Kirby date, I thought we were going to get a Piranha Plant Smash DLC release update.
Yeah, I feel like that is something for a Direct. I mean,
bigger than a Yoshi release?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that the green Piranha Plant is more important than the green Yoshi?
I mean, it's Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is pretty important. Yeah, no, I guess not. Yeah, I mean,
because Piranha Plant is going to be out before Yoshi and Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn.
Yeah,
so
Zach, there's no guarantee we don't wake up tomorrow and we know when Piranha Plant's going to be.
Hey, 2019, they want to just streamline everything. We're going straight up Twitter Directs whenever they feel like it. Whenever it happens, this is what Nintendo's new plan is. I also want to point out again that is Baby Bowser and not Bowser Jr. They look almost identical, but you can always tell the difference because Baby Bowser doesn't have anything on his bandana or doesn't have the bandana whatsoever. Bowser Jr., he's got the mouth, the evil on the bandana, and he's up to no good. But also of note, but Baby Bowser and Bowser Jr. are both appearing in different games alongside sort of each other, given Crafted World's announcement and Inside Stories release. So it's becoming a very convoluted and crazy world here. The lore is almost too much right now, as the Yoshi story trailer blew us away with that abrupt cliffhanger. Gabe, they're basically master storytellers at this point. Cliffhangers, red herrings. It's going to be good. Let us know your take in the comments down below, everybody. What do you think about these announcements, and what does it mean for the Direct? Where is it? When's it coming, or is it not coming at all? Do you agree with us that these are stopgaps to allow for something on the horizon to pre-order, or what do you think Nintendo's mental thought process was with this one? Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest and greatest from the Switch and its announcements. Hopefully a Direct soon. Hit the notification bell if you want to be the first to know. And until next time, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much for watching. We love you a lot. SwitchForce out.